YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. If you're a subscriber, welcome in. This show is for you, giving you the kind of personal advice and attention to say thank you for subscribing. So if you're watching on TikTok and you want to comment, you have to become a subscriber. But here to help you out with all of your bets, fantasy football plays, everything you need for this week. So we are here, subscriber only show as promised. Make sure you guys subscribe today, and that way you can ask your questions, and we will focus on as many questions as you want. We will answer as many questions as you have about your fantasy football team, the waiver wire, everything that you guys need to cash in. So make sure you guys hit that follow button. Make sure you guys subscribe. Wizard of Oz, if you want to become a subscriber, there you go. Wizard of Oz, great to see you. Subscriber only show though, so if you're a subscriber, I'll answer as many questions as you have, all of those. Wizard of Oz, great to see you. Wonderful to have you with us tonight. Wizard of Oz, let me know if you have fantasy questions tonight, sports betting questions. I'm also putting together my research. More than happy to help you out with anything that you need. NFL Week 6, College Football Week 7, MLB playoffs, even NHL, now that the NHL is underway as well. So, again, here to help all of you out, but this is a subscriber-only show for comments. Want to make sure I pay off those subscribers who pay Butt Fumble Sports for the, $5.99 a month? Yeah, Stevenson's been really disappointing. This week, I'm not shocked that he was bad because the Saints are a decent run defense, but I was just overall disappointed that he did nothing. So, I don't know if we can trust him at all. I certainly would look for other options this week. Drew, trade D-Hop and Michael Thomas for Rachaad White. What? If you're getting D-Hop and Michael Thomas, sure. Otherwise, that trade makes no sense. No, are you that desperate for a running back? Hate that trade. Hate it. Unless, Drew, if you're getting D-Hop and Michael Thomas, that I like. Appreciate you guys being with us. This is a subscriber-only show in the comment section. So if you guys subscribe today, I'll answer as many fantasy questions as you have, sports betting questions. I'll help you out with whatever you need. But subscriber-only show, I want to say thank you to those that subscribe to Butt Fumble Sports. So we do these subscriber-only shows a couple times a week. That way, those that subscribe, they get the attention that they deserve. So Wizard of Oz, I like the way Kelly plays with Eckler compared to him. So Wizard of Oz, that's actually something that we found statistically, that actually Joshua Kelly statistically is a better running back as the kind of Robin to Eckler's Batman. But when he's asked to be the number one running back, he kind of flops. So it is something to holding on to Joshua Kelly actually and playing him simultaneously with Eckler, which is kind of counterintuitive, but a great little note. If you guys have fantasy football questions, if you guys do have questions about how to bet or some of the trends that we like for NFL Week 6, all you have to do is become a subscriber, throw those questions in the comment section. Pitts or Logan Thomas is a question that we're getting in right now. Really interesting one because Kyle Pitts finally had a good enough day for us to consider him, but I'm going to lean towards Logan Thomas. I'll go Logan Thomas over Kyle Pitts. Arctic Tiger, great to see you. I should have listened to you, your review of Kremer. Yep. Yeah, Seager. I told you Seager was going to have a good day. I told you that, but it's okay. We cash a lot of tickets here at Butt Fumble Sports. Again, if you want all of my bets every day, just DM me on Instagram, Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. We give out our picks every single day. We had a very successful day so far. Hopefully that can continue. But looking at our picks so far, we didn't put any of our MLB picks up on the big board, but we did put them on the SHARPZ app. Fisher Iverson. Achan's going to be out for a few weeks. I think he's worth holding on to, but I do think there's a little bit of concern there just because he was popping, and given the speed that he had, it's just it's unfortunate because you're worried if that speed's going to show up later in the season, if this is going to hamper him. Brant C, 1, 2, 3. If I had to go with 3 wide receivers this week, CeeDee Lamb is one of my favorites. So Brant C, 1, 2, 3. CeeDee Lamb is one of my favorite wide receivers this week. I would absolutely start him. And then between Waddle and Olave, I would lean just slightly towards Olave. It's very close. I'm not going to go with Keenan Allen going up against the Cowboys defense. I think Waddle's got a... The challenge is the Panthers' pass defense has been good this year, bad last week. I'll go Olave. CL, thank you so much for subscribing. CL, welcome to the Butt Fumble Sports community. So great to have you. Now you can ask all the questions that you want. Our subscriber-only show right now. You can ask as many questions as you want. We'll be live answering as many as you want. By the way, Sal, so happy that you cashed on our MLB picks today. We did really well on our MLB picks. After kind of having a mixed week 5, which is funny, we didn't go with the public, and the public had a good week. But that said, we found our way in the MLB postseason pretty well. Troy, great to have you as a subscriber. Troy, welcome to the Butt Fumble Sports community. Great to have you as a butt fumbler. Brant C, start the Dallas defense, Chicago defense, or the Falcons defense. I would actually lean on the side of the Falcons just barely. I think Dallas will come back and play much better, but they're facing a good offense. Eckler will be back. So I'm going to go with the Falcons. Brant C, I'd go with the Falcons defense. Thanks so much for the question. Fisher Iverson, if I had to sit one, it would probably be Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy going up against the Chiefs defense. Chiefs are a good pass defense. Wizard of Oz, don't worry, CeeDee Lamb's going to have a bounce back week. CL, great to have you with us. Great to have you as a part of the community. Thanks so much for becoming a subscriber this evening. CL asks, DK or JT in the flex in a standard league? Great question. Okay, so the issue with Jonathan Taylor this week, facing the Jacksonville offense. So Jacksonville's run defense is actually a top 5 run defense. Jacksonville's been pretty stingy against the run, but if I flip that over on the other side and I look at where the Bengals are, they're like a top 10 defense against the pass. So you've got two kind of challenging matchups. So the matchup doesn't sway me in one direction either way, CL. But what does is JT's still going to be on a snap count. Zach Moss coming off a good week. JT still getting acclimated back into the season. I think DK is the better play. CJ, I'd go with DK, especially after a bye week. He's healthy. He'll be ready to go. CJ, I'd go with DK Metcalf over Jonathan Taylor this week. Thanks so much for the question, CJ. Ask as many as you like. By the way, I was talking to some friends of mine who are Baltimore Oriole fans to that comment by Wizard of Oz. I'm not disappointed in the Orioles at all, and that's because you got to be realistic. These are kids. These are babies, and you're expecting them to play at that elite level. They're going up against Nathan Eovaldi, World Series champion. Corey Seager, World Series champion. Bruce Bochy, one of the best managers in baseball in the 21st century. So I think the Orioles, they're just learning what it takes to play in October. I think this experience is really valuable. They're going to take a lot away from it, but I'm not surprised that they're getting knocked off the map by the Texas Rangers. I actually had the Rangers tonight. Troy, great to have you as a member of this community. Let's get to your question, Troy. Traded A.J. Brown and Mark Andrews, and I received Mixon, Lockett, Collins, and Ingram. I don't like that trade, Troy. You traded 2 top of their position players, and you got back a mixture, you got back a smorgasbord, but you gave away like high-end Omaha steak, and you got back, Golden Corral buffet top. I like Lockett, I like Mixon. If you lack depth, if you lacked a complete team, I understand it. But Troy, A.J. Brown, and Mark Andrews, I would have held on to those two. Fortunately, now you're a subscriber of Butt Fumble Sports, so you'll get all this advice every day. You don't have to worry. We've got you from now on. Drop Musgraves for Schultz and Logan Thomas. It's a great question. I really like Luke Musgrave, but he did disappoint last night, did not deliver the kind of performance I was hoping, but that kind of speaks to Jordan Love's night overall. As for Schultz and Logan Thomas, I do think that Schultz could have a good week this week, potentially. It's not a great matchup, but I think that actually means that he might become more important than the wide receivers. Logan Thomas is the one I like the most this week. Logan Thomas would be my favorite wide receiver out of that group. The Packers. Forgive me. I'm trying to see here. Where are the Packers? Oh, they're on the bye. So I understand it. If you're on the bye, getting Logan Thomas, I like the deal. Yep, in the bye week, I like it. Okay, Jerome Ford. No. Zach Moss is the better play, Christian. Jerome Ford's got a tough matchup against that 49ers run defense. Is Burrow back to 100%? No, he's not 100%, but you can just see he's getting healthier with each week. I really like Joe Burrow this week. I think Burrow has another really good game against the Seattle Seahawks defense. The Seahawks are the third worst passing defense in the NFL. So once again, I'd look to Joe Burrow, everybody. I'd look to Joe Burrow. I like Joe Burrow over 1.5 passing touchdowns. That's one that I like. I also look towards his yards. Joe Burrow, I would look towards over maybe 200 plus passing yards. I think Joe Burrow is a good play this week against what is a good secondary of the Seahawks. They're getting better, but still vulnerable because of how young they are. Diego, pick 2, flex 1. Bijan, Kyren Williams, Pacheco, Gibbs, and Hall. Diego, I love Pacheco this week. Pacheco is one of my favorite players this week, so Pacheco would absolutely be one of my 2 starts. I would also go with Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson would get in there, and I would probably put Kyren Williams third. So it would be Pacheco and Gibbs, and then Kyren Williams would be the third. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks so much for the question. Appreciate you guys being with us. We are live every single day on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. So make sure that you guys are with us every day. Jake, subscriber only is right. That's right. Should I drop Tank Dell? No, I'd probably bench him. Sorry, I was just answering some questions, so just getting down to some people now. Arctic Tiger, would top running backs this week be Swift? Yes, absolutely. Actually, no. He wouldn't be a top running back. James Cook, Derrick Henry. Are you saying a top running back in general, like across the league? No, actually. Oh, who would the top running back be out of that group? Probably Swift. Swift would probably be the best one out of that group. Wizard of Oz, Ayuk or Evans? I would go with Evans. Wizard of Oz, I'd go Mike Evans. Mike Evans is the better play, better matchup. Would you trade Montgomery and Marquise? I would. No, George. Montgomery is probably more valuable than Bijan right now. You could trade him 1-for-1 if you really wanted it. CJ, my running backs are Achan, brutal. Swift, I like. JT will get stronger week after week. Jacobs is still going to have some good opportunities. Madison, who has a good matchup this week against the Bears. Sanders, okay. Who, if any, to drop if waiver running backs become available? It's interesting because Madison has a good matchup this week. I usually would say Madison. I like him the least out of that group, but it would probably be Sanders because Madison does have a good matchup this week. But if you're not playing him this week, it would be Madison. Cam Akers is going to get more carries. Juan, great to have you as a subscriber. Welcome to the Butt Fumble Sports community. Now you can make sure that you obviously can get all your comments in. Great to have you. Diego, pick 2 and flex 1. Okay, I'd start Puka, I'd start Lamb, and I'd start Olave. So kind of the obvious 3, Diego. Lamb, Puka, and Olave. Lamb, Puka, and Olave, Diego. Thanks for the question. Jake, thoughts on this 3-leg parlay? Chiefs -2.5, yes. Pacheco plus 40 rushing yards, yes. I don't think Kelsey's going to play, guys. I don't think Kelsey's going to play. Don't put Kelsey in a parlay. If I'm the Chiefs, I don't put him out there. If he does play, I'd be really worried about his status. I'm not touching Kelsey in anything this week. Not fantasy, not DFS, not player props, not parlays, nothing. Don't touch him. I actually think that's one of the reasons I like Pacheco that much more. Jake, I think a sneaky good play could be like Rashee Rice, 25 plus receiving yards. That could be something that's appealing. Sky Moore, 25 plus receiving yards, something like that. But I love Pacheco this week. I wouldn't touch Kelsey. That would be the leg of the parlay that I would amputate. I traded Tank Dell for Waddle, and a couple weeks ago, great job. If you got Waddle for Tank Dell, Brancy, you did a great job. Fisher, Iverson, don't like Breece Hall's matchup this week against the Eagles. We saw how good that defensive front is. Is Higgins looking healthy for this weekend? Broken rib, isn't it? Isn't it a rib injury? I'd be worried about it. If he comes back this week, it's a really good matchup against the Seahawks, but I'm a little bit worried about it. I think Boyd probably continues to fill in that role. I wouldn't be surprised if they gave him an extra week. Diego, Pitts, or Ingram. On that one, I would lean slightly towards Ingram this week. And between the Cowboys defense and the Falcons defense, I'll go with the Falcons. I don't feel great about it, but I prefer the Falcons just a little bit. And the reason I say that, the Washington Commanders give up more sacks than any team. That also means that there are a number of Falcons defensive players that are a good player prop for a sack. Just something to keep mind of. Wizard of Oz, Josh Jacobs or Mixon. I would go with Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs against the Patriots. Thanks so much for the question. Jacob Vines traded Burrow and Judy for A.J. Brown. I kind of like the trade. I think that's a good move. Jared Goff or Joe Burrow. I'd go Joe Burrow this week. Sorry for the longer one, but do I trade Saquon or Aaron Jones for Kirk Cousins? Absolutely not. Cousins' value has plummeted with no Justin Jefferson. Aaron, start Jacobs or Eckler this week. I would start Eckler. Tyler Ola, sorry I was neglecting you guys over there on YouTube and Twitch, but I'm back, don't worry. John, start 2. I'd start probably Robinson and Moss, but it's very close. Lamar or Burrow this week. I'll go with Lamar Jackson. It's very close. Jacob, Montgomery and Devontae Smith for Pollard and Watson. I think I'd rather have Montgomery and Devontae Smith. It's close though. It's very close. Drew Hazard, Keenan Allen for Bijan. You could do that. Arias, I got you. Arias, I see you. Sorry for the longer one. I got you. Oh. Yeah. No, I stand by what I said. Arias, I stand by what I said. Appreciate you guys being with us. Let's get back to some of these subscribers over here on TikTok. I'm dope. What's good? I'm dope. Who will the Vikings' number 1 wide receiver be? It'll be Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison will be the number 1. Do you trust Justin Fields the rest of the way? The rest of the season? No. No. I don't trust him. I think it's very week-to-week matchup based. George, thank you. One last question. No problem, George. Which running back should I try to get if I'm giving up Kyren and Hollywood Brown? Ooh. See, I think Kyren Williams has some value, so it depends. I think other owners in your league who may not be as knowledgeable, I don't think they're going to value him the same way I do, so I think they're going to lowball you. But Kyren Williams, Hollywood Brown, at least a Kenneth Walker III, at least a Dameon Pierce. Really, I think you should be between the two of them. I think you could really push for something really strong, but I don't know how many good running backs there really are. Like a Saquon, a Derrick Henry, I think you're in that kind of category. By the way, we have another subscriber. Thank you so much for subscribing. T-Hex Tejano, great to have you as a member of this community. Throw those questions in there. We're here to answer them. Diego, I trade Jonathan Taylor and Ingram for Mark Andrews and the Lions defense. I wouldn't do that. Nope. I'd rather have Jonathan Taylor out of anyone in that deal. Mark Andrews isn't enough value in exchange. Should I hold on to Stevenson? Sure, but you can just see the Patriots are in a world of hurt with Mac Jones at quarterback. Thoughts on Trevor Lawrence going forward? His best weeks are ahead of him. Trevor Lawrence is on the upside of his season in terms of fantasy value. Hawkinson and Javonte for Pollard. J Money, I would do it. That said, Hawkinson's value goes up with Justin Jefferson gone in some ways. In terms of PPR leagues, it goes up. But I still like Pollard the most, so I do like that trade. Should I sell James Conner now or wait? Well, I'd sell him now if someone's willing to take him. He's injured, so I'd rather have a player that's generating value than having him on the IR. Appreciate you guys being with us. Brant C. He'll learn the rules. Don't worry, Brant C. By the way, yeah, didn't that work out? Sam Howell, even though we got the Commanders wrong, we thought the Commanders would win. Sam Howell turned out to be a good play. So, Brant C, I'm glad that worked out for both of us. Should I start the Cowboys defense against the Chargers? I'm not big on it, and here's why. Austin Eckler. If Austin Eckler wasn't back, I would feel good about it. But the fact that he is back, I just have some questions. We just saw an Austin Eckler-like running back, Christian McCaffrey, tear the Cowboys a new one. So I do think that this is a matchup that's a little bit trickier for the Cowboys defense. I like them to get some sacks, maybe a pick, but overall, I don't feel as good about it. By the way, again, TX Tejano, great to have you as a part of this community. Thank you so much for subscribing. Zane, thank you so much for subscribing as well, Zane. Thank you for being a part of the community. Already getting month 2 in. Make sure you guys are a part of that group. Zane, fire away with those questions. We're here for it. By the way, story time. Thanks so much for the gifts. Wizard of Oz, Brock Purdy or Patrick Mahomes? No brainer here. Patrick Mahomes by a mile. Brock Purdy has a terrible matchup against the Cleveland Browns. And additionally, Patrick Mahomes has one of the best matchups of the week. Love Patrick Mahomes. Love Patrick Mahomes. Okay, Lennox, pick 3. Addison, Olave, Wilson, DK. Thanks so much, Juan. Thanks so much. DK, Nico, DJ Moore. Okay, Lennox. I'm probably saying your name wrong, but that's how I'm saying it. I'd go Addison. I'd go DJ Moore. And I'm going to lean towards DK Metcalf. So it'll be Metcalf, Addison, and Moore. It's close. Olave and Metcalf are very close. I like Wilson's matchup. I don't like Wilson's quarterback. That's where I come out on that. TX Tejano, should I trade? Trade who? Didn't see the rest of the question, TX Tejano. TX Tejano, still not seeing it. CL, it's crazy, but Thielen and Jacoby Myers are available on waivers. Which one should you get? Specifically for this week, I'd probably say Jacoby Myers, but really season long, I think Thielen probably has the greater value maybe. It sounds nuts, but I'm worried Jimmy G breaks in half, so. TX Tejano, now I see it. Should I trade Jefferson for Taylor? 100%. TX Tejano, if you can get that trade, trading Jefferson and getting Taylor, I do that trade in a heartbeat. Absolutely. Should I trade Kyron Williams, Amari Cooper, or Collins? I'm going to go Kyron Williams. Kyron Williams, Sal. Kyron Williams would be the play. Zane, great to have you as a new subscriber. I know we just cut out for a second, so I'll wait. I have Saquon, Bijan, and my DM me on Instagram. That way you can get every pick that I make every day. I don't answer fantasy questions on Instagram because we're already doing that on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. But we do give out our picks every day. All you have to do is DM me on Instagram, and that way you can get every pick that I make every single day. Appreciate you guys being with us, doing a subscriber-only show right now. Baker or Russell Wilson? You got to go Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield's actually the much better play. He's got a decent matchup as well against the Detroit Lions, so that's where I come out on that one. Appreciate the question. Keep in mind, Russell Wilson has a tough matchup against the Chiefs at Arrowhead. Not a good place to play. Don't think Russell Wilson's going to have a good week. I would go with man, I like all three. I'd probably go ETN and Kamara, but I like all three, Jake. I like all three. You can't really go wrong there. CL, wide receivers, Nico, ASB, DK, Puka. Solid group there. Running backs are very solid as well. I want Pacheco, trade who? Maybe you could trade Achan. Kind of the waiver wire. Yes, I would. I'd probably move on from Hunter. I think Logan Thomas has some value moving forward. So appreciate all of you guys being with us every single day. Again, if you want all of my bets every day, just DM me on Instagram. Otherwise, you can get picks as I give them out every single day on our show. We do a live show every day at 5 p.m. Eastern, every weekday at 5 p.m. Eastern, every weekend at 10 a.m. Eastern. Make sure you guys are watching that show every single day. Of course, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button right now on TikTok. That's how you can ask your questions. Here to answer questions for everybody who subscribes. Subscriber-only show for at least a few more minutes, everybody. James Conner and Pittman for CeeDee Lamb. Yes, I would. Would you rather have a healthy Deontay Johnson or Puka? I'd rather have Puka. I'd rather keep Puka right now, guys. I wouldn't give him up. Is Chuba Hubbard startable? He is, but not a great play, though. TX Tejano for 3 spots. Which 3? Kamara, Etienne, Eckler, Jacobs, and Jonathan Taylor. Okay, let's get to that really quick. Thanks so much, guys, for helping me out with my live goal. You guys are the best. I appreciate you guys supporting me so much. You guys are so wonderful. Thank you, guys. IP Shade 45 means the world to me. Chill bumps, man. Chill bumps. I would probably go Eckler 1. I would go Jacobs 2. And I would go ETN 3. ETN, Eckler, and Jacobs would be the 3. TX Tejano. Thank you so much. Jake, Amari Cooper, Hollywood Brown, Nico Collins. Wow. Tough question. Wow, I don't like any of them this week. They're all bad matchups. Wow, really interesting. All brutal matchups. I'll probably say Amari Cooper just because he's a wide receiver one that's going to get fed religiously, but brutal. Sal, sorry you missed my answer. Kyron Williams. Sal, I'd go with Kyron Williams out of that group. Sal, brutal timing because I just kind of cut out again. By the way, I'm going to hop off over here on the YouTube side.